There's a tradition in America of citizen activists, of people who don't run for elective office, people who, for the most part, don't get on the front page of newspapers, but who do the hard, often visionary work of making a city a place that everybody wants to go to because it is so attractive. As a couple, Mark and Ann Edlen have been that kind of a treasure for Portland.
I think Mark and Ann are the dynamic duo in Portland. They energize each other.
The synergy between the two of them is phenomenal, and it's always exciting to be with them because there's always a new idea.
I think that our entire community would be significantly poorer if the Edlens weren't here, because what any community needs is solid citizens who are going to give back. And I mean give back in a number of different ways.
And they're very, very charitable to the community, but charitable not by writing checks, which they do, but more by leadership.
And so Mark and Ann are people who not only do well, but they do good, and that's important.
Mark has been probably the greenest developer in the United States, when you're speaking just of buildings. But the vision that Mark and Adam both have is that this needs to be integrated with community.
Ann sees sustainability as something so much broader than what it used to be. It's really more about access. Access to quality health care, access to art and beautiful places. She is completely committed to community and to a diverse, holistic approach.
You need to worry about the poor, the disabled, the unhealthy. You need to bring arts into it. You need to develop places where people want to live close to where they can recreate and where they work and where their kids go to school.
LifeWorks Northwest, we're a community-based nonprofit. Our focus is helping those who struggle with addiction and mental illness to overcome those challenges. We also have a focus on preventing those issues where we can in the first place. We had joined forces with a program that came under our umbrella, housing families in recovery.
They had basically a residential drug and alcohol treatment center in a building that was, as we always said, safe and adequate, but, was never really intended to be for that use.
And when we took that program on, one of the first things our board rallied around was, we got to figure out a new solution to this facility. So immediately I thought, well, who do I know that knows anything about buildings? And I immediately thought of Mark Edlen.
Mary came in, talked to Mark, and basically said, will you help us? We need this building to do what we do better. And Mark said, yeah, we would love to help.
So it was his vision and kind of this pushing us to think bigger. As part of that, of course, we needed to tell our story and raise a bunch of money. And I knew Ann had that uncanny ability to really tie a mission to, the drive of the fundraising.
To really help communicate the vision that was used to raise the capital campaign and the funds that were needed for that project.
Getting to the heart and the essence of what matters and articulating that.
And I think it just really made a big difference in the impact. So we built this amazing project that's now treatment that we own and operate, but partnered with Home Forward for the housing that then our families move into. The facility itself is beautiful, but really what it does is it allowed us to have coaching and support for family. Reunification is fundamental for them being successful, not just the basis for their recovery, but for their entire family. So we love to say we're breaking the cycle, and hopefully we prevent this in future generations.
When I was young, it was not considered a smart thing to go spend your evening in the Pearl District.
The streets were littered with hypodermic needles, a lot of, illegal activity going on, and it was distressing to the city.
Mark saw it as an area that had within it elements of character that could make it a really desirable community, a place to have urban revitalization.
This can be cleaned up and this can be changed into something dynamic.
And so he moved into a place that a great many folks would have avoided
And by doing that, he helped shape one of Portland's iconic neighborhoods.
The brewery blocks used to be, at the time I think we acquired it, the old Blitz Weinhardt Brewery. Out of that 5-block development came the first high-quality condominium development, and it turned out that retail strip turned out to be one of the best, highest volume in retail in Portland.
It's the ability that he has and that Anne has expressed as well, to see not just what is, but what could be, and that to roll up their sleeves and bring it into reality.
In around 2011, PNCA embarked on a very ambitious project, which was to move from the Johnson Street property to the new home, which is called the 511 building. This was a very ambitious project. First, we were taking a 100-year-old building that had been a government building and transforming this building into a new center for art and design.
So, both in terms of providing leadership on the board to really get people behind the project and to believe in the project and to be willing to, frankly, take the kind of risk that you needed to take to do a project like that big and that complex, but also really going out and raising those funds that were so critical to making it happen, which was really going out and sort of being able to communicate that vision to potential funders and partners.
She really put her name on the line by taking on the responsibility for raising money for this building. She gave hundreds of hard hat tours. She brought in friends, large and small, as donors. And the outcome is that it's not only a place that provides arts education, it is a community center. It's a place that has hopefully an enormous impact in the future on the arts and culture of Portland. So it's a very, very important place.
Both in bringing that building back to life and then educating creative class workers to help fuel kind of local business.
The Edlens are a Renaissance couple. Between the two of them, they've had a massive impact not just upon the built environment, but upon the art scene, upon the development of Portland as a center of excellence.
I mean, it's hard to, name a organization they haven't in some way embraced.
And Anne and Mark have been amazing in terms of the way they've participated in the community, both with regard to educational institutions, but also local philanthropies, engagement in civic life of the city. So you want people like Mark and Anne Edlen to live in your city.